How's everything faring with Tornado Alley, my dear?
Well, they finally came out and, well, we've got power. They finally came out and uh, tried to reestablish and did my internet. And so it's so far a lot of uh, buzz sawing and wood chippers and everything else. Blue tarp everywhere.
You're in St. Louis, right?
Yes.
And so am I.
Mhm.
Funny.
Where are
I'm
you?
I'm in Webster Groves,
Okay.
so
Well,
I'm
I'm in
south.
Florissant.
So I'm south of you. You guys up
Yeah.
there keep getting the tornadoes, and I don't. We don't get them.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're safe.
Thank you.
So we are live. This is April Cox for my Ask Me Anything about Self-Publishing session, which we do open Q&A every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I am live on Zoom, and I'm also streaming on my YouTube channel. So if you are on YouTube watching this and you want to join us live, you can go to aprilcox.com/events, EVENTS, and that will redirect you to the Zoom. So either way, feel free to post a comment and let me know what's on your mind, what you're struggling with, and how I can help you with your self-publishing journey. All right, who has a question for me?
Well, I do.
Good.
So I'm my picture book is at the illustrators, and I asked for it to be 8.5 by 8.5,
Hmm.
and so I'm putting it on. I gave her cover templates for uh, Amazon uh, paper cover,
Hmm.
Ingram paper cover, and hard cover.
Okay.
And I was just I had sort of thought that there was a 10 by 10 um, option that I had a plan for also. I didn't really know what that was. Like,
Probably, I always tell people to plan for a 10 by 10 if they're asking for an illustrator to do illustrations, because if you get it in the larger file size, it's easy to go down to 8.5 by 8.5. And you also have the option of doing an offset print with a 10 by 10 file.
so
So
that
it's
I
not
asked
print
my
on demand accessible or available, but it is a great option if you want to do a special print run.
okay, so 10 by 10 is not POD possible.
No. Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I have a question about that. If I'm doing the 5.5 by 8.5,
Mhm.
should I get my illustrations bigger?
Um, Hold on one second. Explain that. Say that one more time, Debbie.
Okay, on my book, it's a what, 5.5 by 8.5. So should I get my illustrations bigger?
I think
You should get
yours.
the illustrations bigger.
I think yours is fine. Sorry, was this a question somewhere? Um, Sharon's phone.
Oh,
There we go. All right. So what I would think is if you want to do a print and you want it to be available in a bigger size, then sure. But when you get to when you start getting to like the middle grade chapter books, things like that, there is a very common standard size, and printing bigger actually ends up negative. They're like, oh, these big ones, those are baby books. We want, so I think for
Right.
yours, I think you did a good job with the style and the size you selected. So it's a little bit different than if I was doing my Christmas book, for example, and it's a square book, it's for 4 to 8 year olds, then having a specialty 10 by 10 size that I could sell at events and things like that would be wonderful. I think yours is perfectly fine at the size that it is for more of the middle grade audience.
Okay, I was thinking about posters, but then I printed this one here from the
I think it would
images,
make
so.
a beautiful poster. I think you have a number of illustrations that would be absolutely gorgeous for that. So yeah, asking them to convert it to a larger size for a poster may require them to rework it. So
Yeah, and this
something
here
to think.
was their standard
Okay,
picture, so.
okay,
So I have a follow-on question.
okay, go
So
ahead.
my illustrator is also my designer, so she's producing the whole book, including the cover. And so I said to her, well, can you do it in 10 by 10 and so we can shrink it down to, and she said, well, that'll mess up the fonts. And she if she didn't want to do that, she wanted to start with 8.5 by 8.5 and
Mhm.
maybe, I don't know, do something later.
Yeah. So I will say that I don't usually recommend that your illustrator is your designer because illustrators, I have met two in my life that are fantastic at both of those things, but that's two out of probably 1,500 books I've been involved in. And of those, maybe say 50 of them had something to do with the illustrator and it also designed. And
Mhm.
most of the time, what you'll see is, yeah, they can lay things out, but their font choices are not very good. Their cover design is not very good because it's a totally different skill set. My designer that I work with most of all is Praise Safler. So Praise Safler Designs. And if you go to praisesafler.com, great pricing. And also, if you're doing a 10 by 10, as well as an 8.5 by 8.5, she'll do both versions for you at no additional charge. So I do think, yes, there's a little bit of difference in, you want a bigger font size. But it's such a slight tweak that she doesn't even feel like it's worth charging extra for that. So
Right.
how do you feel about your illustrator's ability to do the design?
I think she can do it.
And what if you want to share, if you're willing to share, or once that's available, I'm happy to give you my thoughts and let you know. A lot of times when people come to me and they're saying, April, I just want to upload all of these files I got from my illustrator. And I look at them and I say, beautiful illustrations, but oftentimes I'll say you should get a designer on this before you go live. So I'm happy to assess and help you and give you just an honest opinion because the most important thing in a coach or in somebody that's going to help you with self-publishing is that they're going to tell you the truth. And so I'll always do that, but I'll always be kind about it. So, and we always have a solution to try to work around whatever issue you're going through.
So how can I send you these? They're kind of heavy, big files.
If you have something on your machine that you can just want to open up and share, you could feel free to just share your screen if you'd like. But normally when they're generating files for you to review and provide feedback for, they would give you a PDF with the final layout. So that's the one I'm saying is when it's, you've got a layout from them or you've got a cover design, that's a good time to bring it here and
Yeah.
let's get some
What
opinion.
she did was gave me spreads. So I've got just a bunch of spread. I can't, unfortunately, it's not on this computer
Okay,
because
no
my
worries.
other computer doesn't do Zoom.
That's
And
okay.
the
No
Zoom
problem.
computer doesn't have the files on it.
That's okay. No worries. Yeah, we can figure another way. If there's a shared link that you have that you want to just make available to me, that's another way. Or just, when you come back another day and you want to go through this, we're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. for free for anyone who is looking for beginner help or, assistance and guidance around self-publishing.
And I'll be also joining on Wednesdays, and I have been a designer for a very long time. I can also offer feedback.
So I'm going to bring Kelly up. Kelly, go ahead and talk. Hold on, let me find you. Where are you? Are you, you need to enable your picture so I can bring you up and you can chat. Are you able to do that?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just doing three things at the same time.
Okay.
Um,
There you go.
I will be taking over the Wednesday evening for you guys, I think.
Yeah, when
Um,
this session gets done at 8 p.m. at 9 p.m. Eastern, it runs back to back with another session for our mastermind group. And we had been focusing on web design, and that it hasn't been as consistent. So Kelly's going to be starting the first week of April on the first Wednesday. She's going to take the 9 o'clock hour from 9 to 10. I'll disconnect from the live stream at that time. And then she's going to be talking about a number of things. I'll let her go through that, but her skill set is huge. And she's also a great graphic designer, so she can provide you with a lot of feedback as well. So tell us what
yeah.
you're starting with, Kelly, with your the things that you're going to cover.
I'm actually gonna leave kind of open, and on the first meeting that we're gonna have, I'm thinking about discussing what is the need that the group has. So if you guys are like, I really wanted to have like a section that it's only feedback on my current project, we can do that. Or if you want to have a section that is like, oh, I want to know how to do something on Canva or InDesign, I can also help you with that. Or Wix, I'm also pretty good with Wix. So I do pretty much anything from like the background except for marketing. I do promotional material. So if you want to do, oh, I want to do this material to post on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, I can also help with that. But I'm not very good with the like reach behind it. And I can also help a little bit tweak Amazon ads and cut bleeders, but I'm not like a pro at it.
Yeah,
But
so mostly
I'm
the
gonna be
focus will
available.
be mostly
Yep.
it seems like the most of the focus will be on design and teaching, whether it's you want to jump in Canva, because that's the session we're replacing is the Canva for authors with Leslie. But we'll expand that a little bit more and go into other things that you want to learn around the design efforts as well. So we have a great resource. I'm so excited to have Kelly start joining us next week, and she'll be here to answer questions. So I've got a
I'm
couple.
excited to be in too.
Yeah, so I've got a couple things. Hold on, Pat. I've got a couple questions here on YouTube, and then I'll be right with you next. So
Sure.
S. Parker says, hello, thank you for your content. You've helped me so much already. That makes my heart happy. Thank you so much for sharing that. Vegan Knowledge, JJ. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having this. Do you also recommend audiobooks when you self-publish print and ebook? I do. I think that audiobooks are just an extra, but I think they become more and more valuable as you get to mid-grade and novels and things like that, because a lot of kids and adults struggle with ADHD and other neurodivergence, or just are more auditory learners and enjoy listening, whether it's listening to an audiobook in the car or just relaxing and listening rather than reading. So I think it's a wonderful addition, and it's not too expensive to do. So I highly recommend them. Anyone else have comments about that? Has anyone else done an audiobook, and how has that worked out for you?
I've done them
Mm.
for my chapter books. I'm not sure about a picture book though, but
Mhm.
for a chapter book, yeah, people are happy to have them. So I have had them. I've been moving my distributor around. At first it was Audible, then it was Find Away Voices,
Mhm.
and now it's One Audio. So I keep switching around because they make these marketing promises, that they're going to
Right.
help me reach my target reader,
Mhm.
who is the homeschooling family. So, yeah, people are looking for audiobooks for their kids. They realize that it helps a struggling reader.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, and I think it's also good for teachers, and if they wanted to grab an audiobook for use in the classroom. I hear my granddaughter was telling me that they have listening library And I said, what is that? And she said, we all get some headphones and we all get to go and choose an audiobook to listen to. So she's only 8. So I think that, they are using them. So we'll see how that evolves.
Yeah, I think they probably help
I guess I'm
reading.
on the fence on it. I've done it for my picture book. I did not do it for my middle grade yet. But for the picture book, I think it had like a good side and a downside. The good side was like I actually got like people saying, "Oh my goodness, thank you. That's very good because my kids can actually listen and I don't have to read it." So that was funny. But I do think that the downside was I did a small tweak on the words on one of my picture books, and then the audiobook needs to be like you need to redo it because they
Right.
are gonna alert you that the text is not matching the audiobook. So that was a little bit of a downside. And it didn't help me with sales that much, but it did like create our awareness. So I think it's
The audiobooks that I created for my first picture book, I did an audiobook because why not? I was trying to learn how to do everything. And I haven't found them to sell a lot because, well, maybe it was because it was my first book and I didn't really know how to market as well as I should have. But what I did find is that audio and video books make great lead magnets. So if you're opening a book and it says at the beginning, and it's got like a pair of headphones and a QR code, hey, go download and listen along with us, that kind of thing. Then and you're sending people to go and sign up to get a free download, then that can drive, because I think it's a valuable thing, especially if they see that, oh wow, it's for sale for $6.99 and I could download it for free. All I have to do is give my email address. So I think it makes it for a great addition as like a lead magnet as well.
Have a
And you
bit of
recommend
advice. So my advice would be don't go to Audible and go through their system to locate an audiobook narrator because
Okay.
then you're tied to them forever and you can't do
Really?
stuff like give things away.
Okay.
Oh,
So you need to locate your own on your own, find a narrator.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I happened to stumble across somebody who could do it for me at
I
a
like
writers
I really liked
conference.
my narrator by the way,
Mhm.
and it was
Uh,
not that expensive either.
So you can't really do it yourself unless you invest in a bunch of expensive equipment
Yeah,
or software.
there's a lot of improvements being made with AI and AI voices, and you can clone your own voice as an AI voice and read your book. It leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's getting there very quickly. And most places don't allow you to upload if it's an AI voice, but that's starting to change too. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. It should be a lot easier to do audiobooks. All right, Pat, let me bring you forward. Where are you, my dear? Hold on, go ahead.
I've got a question about, we've been talking earlier about the size of books, and I do my picture books in 8.5 by 8.5. But when it comes to activity books and coloring books, like an activity book for your picture book, what size do you recommend?
I always love the 8.5 by 11. It's just such a standard size. It's easy to print, and it's more what people expect.
Okay.
I've had ordered activity books online from some of the authors that had sales or whatever. And
Mhm.
when I got an 8.5 by 8.5 version, it just felt a little funny to be like a coloring book isn't supposed to be this size. It just felt a little off.
And you can get 8.5 by 11 on print on demand, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
On all platforms. It's a very standard size and it saves, it doesn't waste any paper because it's easy to cut and easy for everything.
Okay, thank you.
Just as a little addition in there, as a designer, I got feedback that they really liked when the size matched my book, which was 8.5 by 8.5. However, as a designer, I do recommend that you keep 8.5 by 11 because you can transform that into a printable and put it as a lead magnet on your website. for example.
Exactly. Yes, I
So
like
that is handier.
Okay, thank you.
And it's always good to be thinking about lead magnets or multi-purpose. How can I get the most from the books that we're doing or the money that I'm spending? So that can I always have the illustrations turned into coloring pages and create an activity book because I think it makes a great companion. And even if it doesn't sell well, it's a great lead magnet. So in the book, I'll see like, hey, you want the activity book download? You can get the digital download here. And they get a whole activity book. Digital, yes, PDF copy. They can print their favorite pages over and over. And if they really love it, they're going to probably just go and order a print copy anyway. So, yeah.
And who does that for you?
Praise Saffler's team. She has 2 people that do the coloring pages.
Okay, I've gone to her website and requested that, but I haven't received anything back from her. So I'm gonna have to double check
Okay.
on you, with
Yeah.
you, to make sure that it's going to her.
Yeah, just let me know if you don't get a reply, and and I'll give a little nudge and see if we can't get this moving for you.
What
Yeah.
do they normally charge for those that are new to publishing in your audience right now? What do they normally charge a designer for a coloring page?
$15 to $20, depending on the complexity.
Okay, thank you.
Because unfortunately, I haven't seen an AI that has been able to just take in your illustration and spit out a coloring page of it. There is one that said it would, but when I put my illustration in, it was dismal. It was awful. Eventually, I think they'll get there. But and if you're just creating coloring pages and it doesn't have to match your character, that's a whole different story. You can do a lot of that in AI. But if you want a coloring page to match all of the special things in your book, and you want to throw in some activities in the middle, things like word searches and crossword puzzles, matching and spot the difference, those things can add a lot of fun to the book. And I love the fact that we get to repurpose all of those things.
What type of files does she want?
If she already has the illustrations and she helped you to lay out the book, then she doesn't need anything else. They just need the PDF file. If they weren't your designers, just send them the final interior PDF, and they'll use that to trace and create the coloring pages for you.
Okay, if I just sent them the illustration files, would that?
Yeah, or just a link to it, that would be fine. I think they prefer a PDF though, like an interior PDF. That way they can see the flow of it all and they can see it all in one place.
Okay.
If you do have an illustrator and the illustrator has given you the Photoshop files or the Illustrator files, these are preferred because sometimes the illustrator does layers. So they might have done the line work differently from the bottom part. But if you do not have that, PDFs or PNGs are fine.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Kelly, is that something that you do as well for your books? Do you do coloring pages?
I do activity books, I do activity pages, I do coloring pages. I do lots of stuff. But my pricing is a little bit higher than the ones that you mentioned.
Okay.
I guess because I come from an educational background, so I do like all of the research behind it. I make sure that the activity is for the specific target audience, that it is within the reading level or curriculum. I also help with advertising. Like I posted on my teachers page for free that gets like 1,000 to 3,000 views every year and this kind of stuff. So I end up like charging more.
Yeah. It can add up if you're doing a large book. I like to try to stick to like 48 pages, but that can get expensive at $20 a piece. So yeah. All right. I did want to mention that I published the interview that we had with Pathways distributor, with the administrator there at Pathways. And the discussion was around distribution. I found this distribution company that for my authors who were ready to kind of step outside of print on demand, they were sick of the low quality of POD books, or their title had been vetted enough that they decided it was time to do something to get the cost of their books down and the quality of their books up. So for vetted titles that are really doing well, it's a great idea to look at distribution. So Pathways does a distribution option where they will they do a pick and pack, like that's part of their service. If you want them to house your books, send the orders, they will take care of all that. They even will integrate with their Shopify. If you want to send orders from your website to them, they'll integrate it right within their Shopify, create the Amazon Advantage listing for you on Amazon. And as your distributor, they would be taking care of fulfilling everything through that Amazon sends them for purchase orders. Same thing with Ingram, and tons of other distribution options. Now they're not going out there with a sales force talking to Target and Walmart and things like that. But when Target or Walmart or Barnes and Nobles goes into the system to order books, they will see that your books are not print on demand. They're high quality print books, and it does make a difference. So it is something, if you are interested in learning more about it. It was a long call, probably, I don't know, an hour, more than an hour. But she answered every question that we had about distribution and about the program that they have for authors. So I just enabled that on YouTube. It is available for you to review. I highly recommend that you do. And I'll put a link to it in the show notes of this site. And maybe when we finish up here, if you guys are interested, I'll grab a link and make sure that you guys have a link to it as well on Zoom. Go ahead, Pat.
I just want to comment and to thank you for your recommendation for Goodnight Reads. I joined it, and it's helping to get reviews, and I'm reading a lot of picture books and leaving reviews as well. So that's one of the problems. Like if one of my books, my first one has been out for 3 years, 4 years. And after a while, you have to do something to get some more reviews.
Right.
It's already been launched. So now what do you do? And it's an excellent way to get reviews for your book.
Yes.
I just wanted to comment. Thank you very much.
I think I went through it, and between the books that I've added and the bonuses that they give me for referring other people, I think I had something like 37 different reviews already. It's been, a little more than a month. So it is definitely, and I do have a video about that as well. But Mark Restano from Goodnight Reads, he's the founder. He does amazing work with that platform. You can go to goodnightreads.com and sign up. If you the code that he gave me for my group is active through the first week of May. So if you sign up for a regular author membership, just use the code April Cox, all caps, no space between the words, and that will give you 1 free month. So you have a free month to test out the author access and get up to 18 reviews guaranteed, plus additional bonus ones that you can earn. So as Pat said, you review other people's books, and similar to Pubby and other things like that, you get reviews. But since we're all children's book authors, many of my team are children's book authors. That's what helps, because it's very quick.
Thank you. It's been worth it.
Yeah.
Are there limitations on that?
Just
What
I think just
limitation?
plan. I'm just going to share something. Whoops, I'm sorry, Pat. I didn't mean to turn your video off.
No, I'm okay.
I was going to remove your spotlight while I went to, hold on. There we go. Let me share my screen for Goodnight Reads. I'll go in here and just take a look at the different plans. So at each different level, you can level up. So it's not like there's a limit, but there are different things that you can do. So here, account settings, let's see if I can find.
Is there a page limit?
Oh, yes, page limit. Yes, you can't have anything more than 3,000 words. So it has to be 3,000 words or less.
Okay.
So
And sorry, did we find out if we have to be outside of KU to join?
No, I don't believe you do. Although some people are more strict with the KU guidelines than others, but they've not had any issue with Pubby, and it's the same thing. So I think it's okay. But if you were afraid and you were like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble, then you could just bring yourself out of KU and then go back in later if you want to add more. So here, the different plans that they have. They have a free plan, which is wonderful. So if you wanted to get started for free, it won't ask you for a code. So if you want, what I would do is sign up for the monthly, put the code in, get a free month, and then if you want to downgrade after that, you can. But a free account, you can have one book, up to 3 guaranteed reviews per month, and 1 bonus review per month. So with the monthly, it's 5 books, 18 plus guaranteed reviews a month, unlimited bonus reviews. So bonus reviews are, things like if you're referring people, you get bonus reviews for all of that. And this is unlimited. Now, if I go to the annual plan, which I'm about to do, it's unlimited books, unlimited guaranteed reviews, unlimited bonus reviews. So that's what I'm going to do because it's pretty much the same $14.55 a month, and it actually saves me money by doing it by the year, and you get unlimited everything.
Which one can we use, the April Pop code?
The monthly. So start here and you'll get the first month free, and then you can decide which direction to go. Stay there and get billed $14.55 a month, or you can downgrade to free or go up to the annual. That's it. So yes, it's a wonderful platform, and you can do, there's a lot that you can do to get a ton more reviews for yourself. I'm glad to hear that it's working out well for you, Pat.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So any other questions?
Ingram,
I got my illustrations available on this computer now if you wanted to. Can I share them?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do I do that?
Oh,
share, I see.
the share.
Okay. Oops. Can you see that? Oh.
Let's see. It says it's sharing. Let me see why I'm not seeing it. Okay, now it's coming up for me. It says Phyllis Wheeler has started sharing.
Oh, okay.
Ah. Okay. So, Miss Designer, well, what do you think of the, first of all, the illustrations are gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I love the simple font, and the layout's beautiful. So you may just have a unicorn with your illustrator.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it, really.
No,
I
there's
mean,
nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely beautiful. I like the simple font. Um, I, I might have probably tried different fonts, but what do you think of the font, Kelly?
I think for picture books, it's good that it is clear and easy to read. I do think that you may want to look into the how you break the phrases. Just make sure that you're following the amount of words. Like for is it? I'm guessing this is like kindergarten-ish.
yes.
So for the kindergarten, you're not supposed to leave more than like six, tops 8 words per line. And this kind of details, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Do you have a cover design?
No, she's gonna do that last.
This is beautiful.
So
You want to keep scrolling through?
let's see if I can manage that here.
There's a little
Love
arrow
that
to the
duck.
right. I do love that duck. He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
um,
You see
what
the
can I
arrow to the
do?
right? There's a black circle with a white like arrow in it on the right
X.
side. It may be something's hiding under a Zoom window or something.
It is, right. Oh, I see. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like halfway
It was hiding.
down.
See if I can get
And
that.
just as a like additional comment, uh,
Mhm.
I do not know if it's intentional or not, but the duck looks different from the ducklings on the back, the style. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Just make sure that things are more consistent and make sure that things fit. Uh, in case it is intentional, that's fine. Like on the other page, the ducklings on the back, they have normal dot eyes with the mama duck, but the main character has big eyes, and then the texture of the fox is a little bit different compared to the duck. Does that make sense?
So you're talking the style of the different animals is different.
Yeah, the style of the
Okay.
art is looking different throughout the book. I don't know if the person is doing the art entirely from scratch or not. Just double check on that.
But
Mhm.
yeah, she worked on the characters first, or at least the fox and the duck.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of this whitewashing behind the text. To me, I'd like to try to actually plan the white space so that we aren't going to have issues with trying to fit things and they look like an afterthought instead of just part of this of the pages. I did the designer who worked on my first book did the same thing, and I've learned so much since then, but I really love when a designer pulls in and like really thinks about how the text is going to fit on the page and it's not kind of an afterthought. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. And
It
she
is
is
it is an
actually,
easy fix. Like in this case, you have the trees. You can simply ask her to pull the entire tree to the bottom and go over the green part of the tree. And it's kind of like tweaks.
and so you go over the green part of the tree and you have white letters.
You can do something like that. Yeah. That makes it can make a difference.
Yep.
So so you don't like this, I don't know what to call it.
It's kind of like a
But
filter that they put behind it that's like a whitewash or a it like I don't know, it kind of lightens what's under there so that when you put the text on it, it can be seen a little bit easier. But yeah,
right.
that would be something I would probably do differently. But it's not terrible. My first book does the same exact thing.
So here we are talking to the fox.
Mhm.
And now we're over here and pretty soon there's a heron. Oops,
All
what
right,
happened to the heron? There it goes. Okay.
gorgeous.
And now he's looking at the bugs.
And this text looks better because it does have the spacing.
Yep.
I see, right, yeah. So I didn't like her turtle. I told her she had to redo the turtle and make it more threatening. But
Hmm.
anyway, this is her first draft.
Would you like to share the name of your illustrator?
Yeah, I found her on Fiverr and her name is well, Elizabeth, no, Elizabeth Elza, Elizabeth Vanderbiel, VAN space DER space BIJL. That's her
Yeah,
name.
the same thing about the size of the phrase. The right page there, you can break it into 2 lines. You can say, said the turtle, and then the bottom line keep going. I nearly missed that.
I see. Good point.
Name under there the way that I think you said it, but maybe if you could correct it, I'd love to look her up because I do love her illustrations. The only thing I would tell her is let's make sure we plan in places for the text. But yeah, this looks great.
Yeah.
I would not be
So-
ashamed to release it just as is.
Okay.
So thank you for
Great.
sharing. I think that's great.
Yeah. So now let's see if I can unshare or something.
I can stop the
Share.
share if you'd like.
Here we go. I think
Okay.
I did.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I'll give you her name. So on Fiverr,
Mhm.
well, I can
You can put it in the chat if you'd like.
yeah,
That would be wonderful.
trying to remember what she calls herself on Fiverr.
So Small Town Reporter says hello, and yes, they are. I'm assuming that he liked the illustrations, or she liked the illustrations.
Okay.
Welcome, glad to have you join us. All right, what question do you have for me? Anything that's been tripping you up for my friends on YouTube or those that are with me here? Or what are you struggling with or coming up on next in your author journey?
Ingram Sparks has changed prices.
Yep, again.
And so how do we get new barcodes?
You can generate it yourself and have it put on the back of your book, or just go back to your designer and have your designer help you with it.
Okay, my designer is not helping me with it. She said to do it myself. So if I do it myself, I can just overlay that.
If you send it to me, I would be happy to do that. As a matter of fact, if you've got a cover file, I can just show you how I would do it and we can take care of it. But you can generate new barcodes by going to, I'll share the name of the site and go show you how to do it. This site is called Bookow, BOOKOW.com. And you can see here they have an ISBN generator, barcode generator. You can do covered template generation. So you just choose what it is that you want. You enter in your ISBN number, the prices that you want. So if the price is changing, you just put the new price here. Put your email address and say yes, that you are consenting for them to email it to you, and then have them email you the PNG barcode. Once you have this, what they email you is just a small image file. And so it's just a matter of placing it on that back of that PDF. And then, like I said, I'm happy to walk through one. If you have one that needs updates, I can walk through that. If not now, we can do it next time. Next week, we'll make that one of the step-by-step things that I can walk through with you guys.
Okay, I have my cover. I need to find the back page.
Yeah,
My
so I
computer
need
crashed and
I
I
would
lost
need the
a lot.
front and back, the file that gets uploaded to KDP, the files that get uploaded to Ingram, the cover files. Those are the ones that we would replace this on.
Okay.
Most designers don't have a problem with doing that. So you and I should touch base after this and figure out who's giving you a hard time. If it's one of my people, I'm gonna have to do a little nudging and find out what's going on. Okay.
I'm gonna have to find that because my computer crashed and I have a lot of files that are missing.
Okay. Well, we do store everything centrally with the design team that we work with. So all of those files we should be able to easily get them, even if they're not on your computer anymore. They're stored locally, or I should say, they're stored in the cloud along with all of the other designers' files, source files, everything that you need, everything that was used to create your files. So
Yeah, my
that's one of the
cloud
requirements that I have with my team.
file paused. And then after it paused, and I wasn't aware of that, and then my computer went down,
Okay.
the hard drive.
But it's still there in the cloud, so I can still download the files and get it back. So once we get everything fixed on
I
your,
probably have it in my Google. I'll look for it.
no problem. Go ahead, Pat, you got a question?
Yeah, a follow-up to this, adding the barcode. Could you explain just the logistics of it? Once you get the new barcode from Bookout,
Mhm.
somehow that barcode has to be added to your old cover, and then that has to be sent to Ingram. So when you send it to,
You're just saving the file. Let me see if I can find one. You're just saving the file name and re-uploading the cover. Let's see if I can find a cover.
but are you sending the new barcode along with it?
It's
I'm not-
actually, yeah, it's inserted on the file. So let me show you what I mean.
Is that something that I or another author could do?
If you have a tool like Adobe that allows
No.
to do
Okay.
it. So here's an example of a cover that was created for a new book that's going to be launching soon. And you can see that there is an image here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can regenerate with a new price, then what I would just do, because I'm in Acrobat, so I have the Acrobat DC version, which allows me to edit the PDF. So I just hit edit. Now there's other tools out there that allow you to edit a PDF. Some of them are free. So you could probably find a PDF editor. Some of them are better than others. And when I do the edit, it takes a moment because my computer is very slow.
So for somebody like me,
Yeah.
I would have to send the barcode and the cover to my designer, send it back to Praise and say, would you
Well,
redo the back
yeah,
cover? Is that
your designer will regenerate the barcode for you. You just let her know, hey, price has to go up on the book. Here's the new price. Could you generate some new covers for me? And they'll generate it. They'll take care of
okay? All right, thank you.
some of the stuff that I do. So now once this Acrobat is there to edit, I would basically say add image. So under the edit menu, I add an image and then I choose the image. I happen to have generated one recently, I think. Let's see. Barcode. There we go. Here's a barcode. That's a sample of one. It's not going to be the same, and I'm not going to save it on top of this. But now I've got this barcode. I would just place it here and then just resize it.
Okay.
But you're just basically moving this where it's supposed to be on top of this. Maybe make it a little bigger so I make sure it's covering everything. And then I'm just saving this as an updated file and re-uploading that to Ingram. So I could do it. I can get away with it. Since you're a member of my mastermind, if you come to any of the drop-in sessions and you say, April, can you help me can you help me with this? I can do it together.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. All right, so I'll close this and not save on top of that. Good. I think I have a question on YouTube. So S. Parker says, what is the page in the book after the title page that has a bunch of numbers and dates and who creates them. Do you guys, any of my star pupils wanna weigh in on that?
Be the PCIP block would be there, part of it, the
Yeah,
copyright.
so it's all part of the copyright page. And there's typically some, maybe I can even find one that I can pull up so that we can take a look at what it looks like together. We'll look at the one for Leslie. For that book that I just showed the cover on, we can go through and there's a dedication, and then here we get to the copyright page. So the copyright page is a very important. You want to be able to show that you have the copyright and that this language here, all rights reserved, no part of this publication may be produced in whole or in part, or stored in a retrieval system. Like, this is some standard messaging that we put on pretty much every copyright page. And so that's an important part of it. And then you'll see, I think what you were talking about is all these numbers and like this publisher's catalog and publishing data, this block of text. Some people skip altogether. They don't even realize that they need to do it, but it is an important part of pulling all your identifiers together, your Library of Congress, your ISBNs, and I have a third party that does this for me, because unless you are a publisher that is publishing 3 other authors besides yourself, you don't qualify for the Library of Congress to generate this block of text for you. The block of text is something that will help you get into libraries across the US and Canada. It also is what every traditionally published book will have. So if somebody that is a literary expert opens your book to the copyright page and they don't see this, it's a red flag, like, oh, this is somebody didn't know what they were doing, or it's obviously self-published, right? We don't want that. We want people to actually see everything and follow the rules and guidelines that are important for what needs to be done for our books. So the service that I use for this, where did it go? Let me go back here, is cipblock.com. And the woman's name is Adrienne Bashista, and she takes care of providing all of this information. You'll see something that says PCIP application, and she spells out what kind of information you need to send, and then she'll give you or generate it for you. It takes, it's about a 3-day process that she'll do, sometimes faster than that. But she'll gives you all the instructions here. And if you're a returning customer, it's $70. If you're a brand new customer, it's $85, because usually she has to do a lot of hand holding. But that's all it is just filling this stuff out, sending it to her, and then she'll provide you with that block of text that you then insert on your copyright page. So I hope that's helpful.
They do an excellent job.
Yes, absolutely do. They're not the only one out there, but she is fantastic, and I do send her a lot of business. All right. We have about 5 more minutes before we stop the feed on YouTube. So I'm just looking for any final questions for the YouTube folks, or I could probably take one more question before we disconnect. We do have some great things coming up for, I have, my goodness, there's a whole bunch of alerts coming up. I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, so like I said, Kelly is going to start doing be added to the mastermind schedule as of next week. So Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think that's going to be chock full of great information. And Kelly, you're doing it every other week, right? So I will go.
Yes.
Yeah, so I will alternate with Kelly and pick a topic, or bring someone in to do a chat or something. I'm thinking maybe just open office hours for me for those that are in the mastermind group. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I say mastermind group, we do have what we call the Authorpreneur Mastermind. There are tons of meetings, special events, discounts on services, and just a ton of benefits to be part of our mastermind. And it's a 30-day free trial. So if you're interested in checking it out, you can go to selfpubmadesimple.com/mastermind and check out the benefits and the different features, and sign up, join us, take a look at some of the things that we do. For example, earlier today, I spent 2 hours in a drop-in session for people specifically focused on POD help, setting up Amazon, setting up Ingram Spark, helping with keywords and categories, and getting their listing where it needs to be before they publish and go live. So that's something that's mastermind members only, and it's a great benefit. That's one of many that we do. So anyway, I'm going to disconnect now. Thank you guys so much. And we'll look forward to getting in touch and seeing you next week. Put it on your calendar. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I'm doing my best to do a big celebration at 10,000 followers. So we're getting close, but still need your help to share the information and to spread the knowledge about what we're doing. So thank you all. I'm going to just disconnect here for the live stream, and I'm going to be here